Hello and welcome. Uh, Today we going to talk about perks to price, the cost shift. And you can find this everything in chapter 4. But before we go to that, let me introduce myself. My name is Edita Woben and I am certified speaker, coach and trainer. And I have a Deborah Lieben here with me, who is also certified speaker, coach and trainer. And we both work with Maxwell Leadership. Hello, Deborah.
Hello, good morning. How are
Good
you
morning.
today?
I'm fine,
Great to see
thank you.
you.
Nice to see you too. Did I
Thank
introduce
you.
us correctly, you think?
No, it's great. Perfect.
Last time I struggled.
Sounds great.
Anyway, so we will have a small chat with Deborah and we kind of give you our takeaways from it and the way we think about it. So the Napoleon Hill said, strength and growth come through continuous effort and struggle. And what John will say, uphill all the way. So for the leaders, if you want to become a leader and if you want to be achieve success, you will have uphill all the way. It's not gonna be easy. And before we start, I would like to ask you to answer yourself a question like, why do you want to be a leader? Why do you want to do it? Because I would like you to brainstorm and go through this like really that will come this from your heart. And don't worry what it comes because this will change in the future if you're gonna carry on. So why I'm asking about this? Because price is the biggest obstacles that stop people from going forward. There is a time when they pay the price, but there is a time when they think it's too much, and then they stop, or they say it's taking too long. I did not expect that. And that's why it's important, so you know why you want to become a leader, because you need to know your why, because the cost will come, and cost will not only come with the price, financial cost, but there will be other costs as well involved. So and if you are the person who are here still, and like me and Deborah, we go for it, we try to achieve, we try to become successful, we try to help other people, I would say to you, congratulations, because you are willing to pay the price. Deborah and I are willing to pay the price, so congratulations. But I also have a news for you. This is never gonna stop. So the price will be higher when further you go, the bigger price you will have to pay, because there will be a bigger reward. And leaders who understand this, I believe it's 99% of people who are 99% that they don't understand, and the 1% of leaders who do understand that leaders never stop climbing. So what do you think, Deborah, about what I just said?
I totally agree. And, really in this chapter, John Maxwell talks about to become the best leader and make the greatest impact, you must shift from perks to price. What does that mean? Well, what it means, if you really want to do what Adita's saying here, is that leaders that focus on the perks are looking at, what parking space are they going to get? What increase in salary are they going to get? How will decisions affect me? What will I need to stay in the game? But if you're looking at the price that you'll have to pay to be a good leader, you're going to focus differently. You're going to focus on what can I give? How will the decisions I make affect others? How far can we go? Not how far can I go? And what must I do and give to stay in the game? So it's a little bit of a change in mindset. And, when you are able to pivot and change your mindset is when you're going to make the greatest impact in where you are, what you do every day.
So it's
But
not
there
me,
are price points.
it's you,
There's,
right? Sorry, it's not me, it's you, it's other people.
yep, it's other people. And so the price points that are talked about in this book are divided into 3 areas. What's the price point that stood out to you, Adita?
Um, I think for me, it's the emotional cost.
Mhm.
And the financial one, I think the financial one was the biggest one, because I did not expect how much I would have to pay to do that. And I would
Mhm.
not expect, because I think it's depending where you are and how you starting. I pretty much started when I was clever, but not very.
Mhm.
That's what I feel now. So I did not expect it that I will have to change so much and
Mhm.
do to the whole shift, the transition and everything. It's taking very long time, and I understand the time, because the cost and the time, I think that was for me the strongest one.
Mhm.
Yeah, that for me, I think. And that also I have to be example. I mean, there's lots of things, but I believe those two, they were the biggest.
All right. Well, the price point. The price point is individual, to the person. So you'll have to think about which one really resonates with you. And the financial is always going to be, if you're starting something new, there is going to be a change, in the financial side in some way, because no matter what you do, like you're saying, there's startup costs. So
Yes,
that's definitely something to think about. Emotionally, you kind of mentioned that briefly. I completely agree with that, because usually when you're moving to a different place, position, area, changing something you do to expand your skill sets and your capabilities, you're out of your comfort zone. So it
yes,
can be emotional.
and that's why you need people who will be with you, who will be helping you, who will understand you,
Hmm.
because the emotional, there will be a struggle there, and that's why people should be there, right?
Yes.
Also the physical cost is about, you have to be strong, and you cannot be lazy. If you're lazy,
Hmm.
if you say, yeah, I'm gonna do it today, I'm gonna do it for a month, and then I can rest. No,
Hmm.
unfortunately, is that the work never stops, right? And if we're talking about the cost, also, I think relational cost. What do you think, Deborah? People who we had, like I had many people around me who I was many years with them. Suddenly they don't understand me. Suddenly lots of them change, and they saying, you change. Well, actually, yes, I did change, but I
Hmm.
went, I'm climbing, but they not. And that's something what also people would have to understand, that that's what is the obstacle. Maybe not the obstacle, but there is something that will come if we're talking about the price.
I think the relational, that leads me to a price point that's really, really important to me, because you were talking about relational. And when I think about the price point for consistency, I mean, consistency is what keeps you in the game. But what is that all about? What does that really look like? Well, consistency provides security for others. When you're there and you're showing up, people now believe that you can deliver. If you're always showing up and you're there to help, people become more secure around that, instead of someone that shows up infrequently and is kind of there only, whenever it's convenient. So consistency is going to provide security for others. It's also going to establish your reputation. Consistency lifts people above the crowd, and sets them apart, because not everyone is consistent. It makes other people kind of notice what you're doing, and it really encourages them to do the same, because when you deliver time after time, you develop a reputation for coming through when needed. And that's what keeps you in the leadership game.
Yes. And I
Consistency.
remember, sorry,
And
I
then the
understand.
last part of consistency I want to mention is consistency compounds, just like compound interest on wealth. When you're saving, and you keep saving, you develop compound interest, which grows over time. And it's the same thing when you're showing up to be a leader. Cal Rimkin talks about it. He's like, how did I develop my career? Well, his father just said, show up, practice, work hard, and just be there when the team is ready for you. You may not get in to the game when you want to, but if you're always there and you're consistent and you're reliable, then that's what's going to keep you in the game. So when you think about all these different things for consistency, they're not glamorous. Consistency, includes practicing, studying, showing up, working hard, asking questions, changing, to
Yeah.
be adaptable, uh, trying and then failing, trying again. These are not glamorous, but it is what keeps you in the game, and it is what creates your reputation. And again, it's what gives people the ability to see that you're there for them when they need you, and it provides them security. What do you
So
think, Adita?
a funny thing came to me actually. This is the life story now. This is the real. I was working when I came to England. I was working in the pub, in the kitchen, and we had the best burgers ever. We had the best burger in town.
Mm-hmm.
The people were coming for lunch, but this pub was very often closed because the owners were not feeling like they decide when it's open. So
Mm-hmm.
the pub was constantly closed. Like there were days when people were coming and they had to go. So what has happened, even because it was the best burgers in town, I would say, people stopped coming. People stopped coming because they could not rely that the door will be open.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what us with us in life is. If people cannot rely on you, they're coming to see and there's nothing, they're coming again, there's nothing, they're not going to waste their time.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to close pretty much very quickly. They had to close the place because they were not consistent and they didn't care about other people, about their
Mm-hmm.
time. So I think that's why it's very important. The consistency is super important with any aspect of our lives.
Mm-hmm. So one key thing that I want to add, and a key takeaway for me from this chapter, is also two things. One, believe in yourself, because if you don't believe that you can do something, other people aren't going to believe it either. The other thing is, do it first. You know, if you expect other people to do it first and you're not doing it, then they're not going to do it. So do it first so that people can see how to, the steps they need to take. And the other thing is, look ahead of you for people that have done it so you can learn how to do it. So what you learn, you share. Other people bring you up, and then you can bring other people up in the same respect. How about you,
That,
Adita? What was your key takeaway?
that's correct. That's correct. And I would like the consistency for me is the key. This is the 100% the key because you have to be consistent. But also, I'm wondering about the pain points we said, the cost, and there's a five. I think we mentioned only four, but there's five. So first one is financial cost, emotional cost, physical cost, personal cost, relational cost. Which of the costs is the hardest, the biggest struggle for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's very important to identify. First of all, we have to identify and then work on it. So yeah, if you whoever is listening, please identify your struggles, identify which cost is hardest for you, and just start thinking, how can we work this out, how we can change that.
And we would love to hear what your greatest challenge is. If you want to share it in the Facebook chat with us, and then we can respond. So think about those 5 areas that Adita mentioned, and what are the things that you have like she said, have the biggest struggle with, and what are you going to do about it? What small action can you take to address it? Because fear holds you back, but pushing through your fear and taking action is what's going to get you places. So thanks again for listening to us and coming to us on Monday morning or afternoon for London. And we look forward
Yes.
to seeing you next week. Thanks again, Adita.
Yes,
Great to see you.
thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye to all.